Welcome back to the month of November, and this time we're going to the UK. And I'm just gonna get my UK swag on. So this month's a bit of an oddball. We're going with a PC that can kind of do a bit of workstation, do a bit of gaming, and not just a bit of gaming, it can game at 4K. So with the prices of 4K 60Hz monitors coming down recently, I thought I'd see it fit to recommend you guys a PC that can game at 4K, especially if you have the cash saved up and you want the best gaming experience possible. Now, as with all my builds lately, I'll put the links in the description below for Oz and the US as well. And without further ado, let's get on with the build. So for the CPU, we're going with an Intel 5820K. This is a 6-core, 12-threaded beast. Now this is the recently released Haswell E platform, so it's the newest, greatest CPU from Intel. Also, it's on the X99 platform, though that is a little bit expensive. You will be getting an absolute beast of a CPU for your money. It's also unlocked as well. It comes in with a base clock of 3.3 gigs, though I'm sure you'll be able to overclock this thing to 4 GHz, no problems, and beyond. And if you Buzz Lightyear, you might even be able to overclock this thing to 4.5 gigs. As for gaming, this thing will absolutely mince any game you throw at it. For CPUs, especially when we're going up to 4K, it's not going to be a problem for the CPU. The CPU will handle any game absolutely fine, especially if you want to stream and render at the same time. I know that's a bit of a fad going through the tech world at the moment. This CPU will be able to do that absolutely no problems. So for the cooler, I'm going to recommend the Enermax 240HP. This is an all-in-one water cooler. Now the reason why we're going with a water cooler, even though I'm not a big fan of them, is that we've got two GTX 970s which will be putting out a bit of heat. So if we can take that CPU heat and blow it out the top of the case, then we're going to reduce the case temps, and obviously it'll be better for our system overall. Now this does come in at around about £80, so it is a little bit expensive. However, it is recommended for this build, especially if you want to go with SLI. If you don't want to go with SLI and you want to drop it down a little bit, you can go with an Enermax T40 as well. That's a really good solution for your money. So for the motherboard, we're going with the X99 UD3 from Gigabyte. Now this motherboard well, it has it all. I mean, it comes in at £155, so it is a little bit pricey, but you've got 8 DIMMs of RAM slots there. So if you wish to upgrade your RAM in the future, you can do that. You've also got the onboard Intel NIC, which is a really good solution for gaming and professional productivity. And also you've got the Realtek 1150 with Gigabyte's audio amp up technology. Now it may sound a bit fancy, but this is no gimmick. I've got it on my UD4 at the moment, and man, it's ridiculously loud. I have to turn the volume down on my headphones at 5. However, if you wish to power loudspeakers from your onboard, then this amp up technology will do a good job of that as well. Other features as well, the BIOS currently on this motherboard, though you will want to update the BIOS if you do get this motherboard. However, it is a solid overclocker and it does run a little bit cooler than the other motherboards out there, especially around the same price range. So for the RAM, we're going with Crucial DDR4 memory. Now this stuff is a little bit expensive, more expensive than your DDR3. However, that is a prerequisite of getting on the X99 platform, is that you do have to go with DDR4 memory. However, it does have its benefits. It does run cooler since it uses less power with 1.2 volt. It also is able to overclock extremely high. I was able to get mine to 2600 megahertz, no problems at all. And even then, I don't even need those speeds. So it is currently a bit of overkill, but I can see this stuff being useful in the future as well. You'll have a lot of upgradability there, especially since DDR4's just been released. So for the SSDs and hard drives, we're going with a bit of an unusual setup here. So for the main SSD or OS drive, we're going with a Crucial MX100 256GB SSD. This comes in at £74, and for the money, it's great value for money. That's all you guys need to know. It's fast, it won't miss a beat as your main drive. It also comes with a 3-year warranty as well from Crucial. This stuff is really good bang for the buck. So for the first hard drive, we're going with a Western Digital Blue. This is a great hard drive for the money. It's 1 terabyte, comes in at £40. It's fast, it's quick. I recently tested one versus a Western Digital Black 1 terabyte, and the blue beat the black. So there's a little bit of a preview of what's to come. Also, this drive will do a great job of offloading those games that you don't play that much, as well as being a great drive for temporary recordings if you record from your desktop, as well as being a great drive for quick dump and pump of files if you need to do that. As for the second hard drive, we'll be going with a Western Digital Purple. Now this is a 2 terabyte drive. It's obviously going to be a little bit more reliable than the blue, so it's great that we're throwing this in there. I think it has a higher mean time before failure. I'm not certain on that, but at £65, it's obviously pretty damn good value for money as one of those backup drives where you can put anything on there. So for the graphics cards, we're going with Zotac GTX 970s. That's right, we're going with two of these things. We'll put them in SLI. If you want to save some money, you can just cut one off, and one of these will be fine for 1440p. Two of these will be good for 4K gaming. I know this because I got a friend who's got two GTX 970s in his rig at the moment. He's playing games at 4K absolutely fine. So two GTX 970s are win. Another thing about the GTX 970s is they're the latest Maxwell architecture. They use less power than the Kepler series and also the competing AMD series. They're also really damn cool as well. Even with air coolers on them, these things don't generally go above 70 degrees Celsius as well. So for the graphics cards, Nvidia has you guys covered, or mainly Zotac has you covered. Now for the case, we're going with a little bit of a different case today. We're going with the Zalman H1. This is a full-sized ATX desktop tower. Now I've seen this case in the flesh and I liked it. It's got a lot of room there to add those fans for extra cooling. It's got room there to put a top mount radiator. You've got room for drives. You've got room for those extra long graphics cards, and you've got absolutely great options for cable management there. So Zalman have really hit a great mark with the H1. I can recommend it for the money. It comes in at around about 85 pounds. And for the money, this case is going to last you a long time. It's going to be pretty heavy as well as big. And while also some of the design things I like about this case is just that they've really, obviously they've designed this case with performance in mind. You can press the button at the front and that opens up a thing to let air come in the front and cool your hard drives as well. So very smart design from Zalman. I'm going to give it a recommendation in this build if you wish to have a case to fit all these components in. So for the power supply, we're going with an EVGA 850 watt gold power supply. Now this thing has a huge amount of amps on that 12 volt rail, coming in with 70.8 amps. This will be more than you need for upgradability in the future. And this, I mean, I'm pretty sure this is overkill for the build today. However, with me, I always like to spend a little bit of extra money on that power supply, especially since when you get it closer to that 50% curve, the efficiency curve, you're actually saving more power as opposed to a cheaper power supply. Another thing as well is you've got that room there if you want to overclock your system to the wall. This thing will be able to do that absolutely fine. As well as that, you've also got fully modular as well, which will give you great options for cable management. So for the power supply, EVGA has you guys covered. So in conclusion, we have one beast of a rig. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up as well. If you have any questions or comments about this build, then please leave a comment in the comment section below. I've also put the links in there for the Australia and the US with similar builds as well. And hopefully I will catch you guys in another tech video very soon. Peace out for now. Bye.